In this video, I'm going to share our true cost of home ownership from 2020 to 2024, and I'm going to compare that to what if we were renting in that same time period. I'm going to talk about our high condo fees. I'm going to talk about the condo fee increases, a special assessment. Yes, you heard that right. Our building got hit with a special assessment. I'm going to tally both of them up and we're going to see if renting or home ownership was the cheaper option. I'm also going to give you my opinion if renting or home ownership was the better decision. So starting off, I'm going to be going back and forth to my notes here, just so you know, because there's a lot of numbers involved. Very first thing, we're going to talk about the home ownership side. Our mortgage is $1,409 and 7 cents. In the year of 2020 to 2022, so that's 3 years, our condo fee was $772 a month. Now our condo fee is quite high because we do have quite a bit of amenities in our condo here. We've got a pool, hot tub, concierge, and a gym. Out of all of those amenities, we actually use the gym regularly. So in my opinion, those condo fees are worth it to us. They might not be worth it to some, but that's something that we chose our building specifically for these amenities. That was that for 2020 to 2022. It did end up increasing from 2023 to 2024. So the last 2 years, the condo fees were $855.89. And we do pay a home insurance. So home insurance is something that is considered optional with condos because part of your condo fee already covers it. But here's a little condo 101. If you have a condo leaks into the unit below you, you're responsible for the building's deductible. Just get condo insurance, specifically for water and flood. $42 a month is what our our insurance is. Taxes. You've got property taxes every single year. I'm going to list these off very, very quick, but they'll just tally up at the end. So first year, our condo fees were $29.18 and 66 cents. Next year after that, $27.66 and 44 cents. Next, $25.31 and 3 cents. $25.33 and 43 cents. And then last, increased to $27.69 and 57 cents. So those are all annual. We'll just tally them up. Okay, so now you have our monthly costs. I'm gonna go and do line by line what those were for the past 5 years of total costs. So all in all, in the past 5 years, we spent $84,544 for a mortgage. Our condo fees added up to almost $28,000. That's crazy. Sorry, that was only for 2020 to 2022. 2023 to 2024, they added up to another $20,000. Insurance for the past 5 years would have been $2,520. Oh, and then property taxes. Our total is $13,519. So our total home ownership costs is a whopping $148,916.69. Calculating my home ownership costs was super simple because I have all of those costs. They come out of the bank account every single month. Now, for renting, we have to do more of a what if scenario because I haven't been keeping track of rental rates for the past 5 years. So the way that I did this is I went into my email because I do have a rental report that gets sent out to me. And I have a rental report. The furthest I could go back, I wish I had one in 2020, but the furthest I could go back was in 2021. And the rental report, I'm going to put it up on the screen. Boom. You can see that the cost per square footage for rentals was $2.42 in the inner city, and that's where we live. So our property is about 1,000 square feet here. So if we were to rent a similar square footage apartment, $1,000 times $2.42 a square foot, that brings us to $24.20. Now, I'm assuming that in 2020, maybe we would have gotten a deal and rented for $2,200 before that jump up in 2021. So what I did was In 2020, I assumed that we would get $2,200 for the year. Then maybe we would have had a rent increase to $2,420 to line up with that $2.42 a square foot. And I made the assumption that 2021 to 2022 and 2023, maybe we'd have the exact same rent for all those years. And then the easy part here was I was able to find other properties that were renting in our building, similar floor plans. And I could see that they were renting anywhere from about $3,000 as their asking price. So I'll show you those screenshots here. Now, of course, that's their asking price. I'm sure that maybe we could negotiate with the landlord a couple $100. So for the last year in 2024, this year, we're assuming that we get a $2,800 rent. On top of that $2,800 rent, we're probably gonna do a renter's insurance just for our contents. We like insurance, so I'm gonna add that into those calculations. So same exact thing, I'm gonna tally up all of the rents. Oh, sorry, one other thing that I didn't account for here is because we have all of our gym equipment here, we don't have a gym membership. So I assumed that we would do a membership somewhere. And in our area downtown, we'd probably get a membership at the M&P Center. So if you see here, the annual rate for the M&P Center is $1,500 for a family pack. So I'm just gonna times that by 5 and get $76.70. And that brings our total rental cost to $156,290. It's shocking when you tally up how much you spend on living expenses in the past 5 years. It looks like a lot of money, but I guess you break that down into 5 years and you've got, what is that? A little over $30,000 per year. Something like that. I hope I'm doing my math right. Okay, now that I have my rental number and my homeownership number, you can easily do the math and you can see that by owning our home, we actually saved $7,000, shockingly enough. But I did mention at the beginning of this that we did have some surprise costs along the way, like the special assessment. So here are our surprise homeownership costs. The first one I wrote, I guess, isn't really a surprise. When you buy a condo, you have to pay a lawyer. So I put a value of $2,000. Our dishwasher had to be replaced, and when you're owning your home, you can't just call your landlord. You have to replace that dishwasher yourself. Shocker. Our dishwasher repair, it wasn't a repair, it was a complete replacement. And we just bought a brand new dishwasher for $1,100 and a couple dollars. I'm gonna put the invoice up. And we did end up having a special assessment. So the way that our special assessment works is we could have paid a one-time value of $4,900, or we could have broken it up into 3 years. So our payments on that was $136.11. What I did for that, we just got that called at the beginning of 2024. So I just did 136 times 12, and that's $1,633. So the total surprise homeownership cost brings us to $4,746. Now, I would say that there would have been a surprise rental cost as well. So I'd say that probably in the 5 years of rental, at some point, we're probably going to have to move. Maybe our landlord wants to pick up and sell their home, has to kick us out, or maybe we decide that we want to move to a different place. So I put a surprise cost there of $3,000, maybe in between our living there. I added $3,000 to the rental side and $4,700 to the homeownership side. And even after those surprise costs of the repairs in our home, plus the special assessments, even after those surprise costs, we were able to save $5,627 just by owning a property. So the one thing that I purposely left out in this calculation here is our down payment required to buy this property. And the reason why I left that in is if we brought in the down payment required, then probably we'd have to talk about the equity. If we talked about equity, then it would be too heavily influenced by if the market went up or down. Because if the market went up, then obviously condo home ownership was a genius idea because we made so much money. But then if the market went down, then clearly renting was the better decision. So it just was too messy of a factor to include here. But to give you an idea, in the last 4 years, from 2020 and onwards here today in 2024 in Calgary, the market has been red hot, and apartments or everything has been going up in value. So everybody looks like a genius by buying 4 years ago. So we're not going to talk about equity. We're not doing that. Okay, so looking at the numbers, owning a condo has put us up $5,000 over the past 5 years. The numbers are so similar that for the most part, I don't think anybody should make their renting or home buying decisions just based off of which one is going to be cheaper in the long run. It more has to do with your future lifestyle. If you're somebody that has a lot of life changes coming up in the next 2 to 3 years, let's say work might take you to a different city, or you might be considering moving to a different city, renting 100% makes sense in that situation. Even if you lose out on, let's say, $3,000 to $5,000 annually, I'd still probably recommend the rental route there, just so that you can get in and out of the city without a headache. But if you're somebody that is planning on creating deep roots in the city that you live in, you don't foresee any big life changes coming up, like your family growing, 100% home ownership is probably going to be the way to go if you can see yourself there for the next 5 to 10 years. Because I know that we didn't talk about the equity portion, but every single month that we pay our mortgage, it's a forced savings account that's being built up in this home here. Now, fortunately for us, the numbers worked out in this comparison, but aside from the numbers, we've actually been pretty happy living in a condo. And if you want to hear about our favorite parts about living in a downtown Calgary condo, you can follow me in the next video somewhere on this page.